So instead of pepper spray, it's illegal to carry on planes. But what I use is this little alarm that I bought on Amazon for about $8. I hang it around my backpack at all times. If someone were ever to like grab me from behind or try to pull me away or something like that, I can just pull it away real easy.
Hello everyone! Welcome to another travel episode. Today, as you can see, I have a new friend. My friend Thalia is with us.
So happy to be here.
I met Thalia
on a cruise.
So we collabed with a cruise and we met there. That time she came back from a Europe trip and she did the Europe trip by herself. She went to 4 different countries in 3 weeks. None of my friends, they did a solo trip for that long. We always worry about, is it safe or how can I save money because you don't have people to share food or share a hotel room with you. So today we are going to learn how she planned her trip and how she traveled on a budget and how to be safe. Out of so many places, why you chose those 4 countries?
I really love traveling in the Mediterranean area, so the south of Europe. I really wanted to visit the lavender fields in France. That's always been my dream. Of course, my favorite place in the world, no secret, is Greece, and I love Greek island hopping. The beginning of June that I made this trip, and it was kind of last minute to some circumstances. Nobody was able to go on this trip with me. This is probably my 3rd time in Europe solo.
First thing, because you need to book flight ticket.
First thing I look at is the cheapest route into Europe, because once you get a cheap ticket into Europe, you can book a trip to any other country cheaply using the budget airlines. My go-to is KAYAK. There's an explore page where you can see that you can choose the cheapest month and the cheapest route. So it'll give you a map of the prices of where you're flying from. Usually a round trip ticket that's cheaper. So usually London, Paris, either Barcelona or Madrid are usually the cheapest hubs from LA. Budget airlines, I know it's scary because a lot of them have a lot of restrictions. So you try to fit within those restrictions. It's very easy to do it during summer because you don't have to have a whole lot of clothing.
When did you book your flight?
Almost a month out. So you don't have to buy it way in advance. Sometimes it's even cheaper if you wait a little bit. But the most important thing is just to go for it because you never know. The hardest part is buying that ticket.
So what about the hotels?
So I use Booking and Airbnb, sometimes Hostel World, but I'm pretty flexible. I'm a pretty spontaneous person. What I first look for is the proximity to the main areas I want to be exploring, and then price. Price is definitely the most important part, especially when you're solo traveling. You're not sharing, the price with anybody.
Airbnb in the United States is actually pricey, but interestingly in Europe it's not.
There are Airbnb deals that you can get for about like $50 a night, and it just makes more sense sometimes because I like to get up early and don't want to wake anybody else. So sometimes the comfort and the price just makes more sense. I'm doing an Airbnb than a hostel. Because if you're gonna enjoy your night out and you're a little buzz and you want to make it back to your hotel, definitely get something that's closer to you.
What about the transportation?
Your options are flight, really cheap flights with the budget airlines, trains if the next country is close enough. Car rental is something that a lot of people don't think about. So I tend to rent a car where there's not a whole lot of public transportation, which just makes sense because it's way more flexible. You can stop anywhere you want. It's not always cheaper, but it definitely just makes more sense and saves you time. One of the things that it's important is to make sure you have an international license. Every country has a little bit of a different rules. What happened in Greece this year is that they said that the rules changed. They required an international license, where in past years I didn't have to. I was fine with a US driver's license. One of the major car rentals denied me a car, so I was stuck at the airport pretty much. Luckily, a local company was able to rent me a car, and it's only $20 at your local AAA's, and it's good for 1 year. It's basically just a card that translates that your US license is valid. Luckily, US licenses, we're very lucky to have it in English because that's pretty much universal. In France and Spain, I didn't have a problem renting a car.
And what about the food there?
I'm a totally big foodie. I love trying everything, but it does get expensive. When I was on the go, I would just go to like the local convenience store because they'll have local local foods for you to try too. Like in London, they'll have curry sandwiches. It's easy to get like a sandwich from a bakery and then save it for later. Europe doesn't have a whole lot of fast food. I mean, they do have McDonald's, but they're not going to have like a whole lot of takeaway. So no takeaway places, so you'll have to like sit down, wait for your food, and that takes a lot of time during your day. But I definitely refer to TripAdvisor, which is like the European version of Yelp. I feel like every other country uses TripAdvisor, but also they can be a little altered because they'll try to like tell people to review their restaurant. Yeah, exactly. So you just have to kind of take it with a grain of salt, kind of look at the pictures of the food and just see if it's worth it. One of the things that I try to make myself safe as a solo female traveler, I never use cross-body bags or things that will dangle from my arm. I always have a bag that's close, something that I can hold close to my body. So instead of pepper spray, it's illegal to carry on planes, so I only use a carry-on, so that's not an option for me. But what I use is this little alarm that I bought on Amazon for about $8. So my plan is I hang it around my backpack at all times, whatever I'm carrying. It just clips on really easily. It's called ROBOCOPP on Amazon. If someone were ever to like grab me from behind or try to pull me away or something like that, something that any unwanted intention, so I can just pull it away real easy, and it makes this sound, draw attention to you. My plan was to just like yell, "The police are coming," to scare them
away.
Yeah. Another thing that's really important that you want to do is have emergency numbers for each country programmed into your phone, or just make yourself aware of where the nearest police station is, the nearest hospital.
Also took so many photos during this trip, where for a solo traveler it might be challenging.
So I have my own little tripod. It fits in my carry-on backpack. I also use a remote on my phone. So I have a Sony Alpha and it connects with my cameras.
So you just hide it?
I hide it.
You take photos most of the time by yourself?
Most of the time by myself.
So I hope everyone who's been thinking about doing a trip like this, Thalia's story can kind of inspire you, and the tips, just remember your international license, book your flight, just go ahead and do it, and be more aware, you know, throughout the trip, and do your preparation ahead of time, so to make it more enjoyable.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, thank you for watching.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Thalia, for sharing your stories. Leave us a comment if you have any other questions that we didn't cover today. Thank you for watching. Bye.